Whether you're studying or working, plants around your desk can help you with your creativity, productivity and overall sense of well-being. I've got 12 different types of plants here that are perfect for around your desk. There are some old classics as well as some varieties that might be new to you to consider, so stay tuned and see what's available. So we'll start with the Dracaena, as I was holding one in the intro, just a different variety, a very special variety. This one is the classic one that you will have seen with spiky leaves. This one's bicolour with lovely dark green leaves and pink outline on them, although you can get them in many colours, including magenta with a nice dark red colour to them. This is the Marginata. You can get the fragrance also, which has wider leaves, and some with stems, or this is a compact variety without the stem, although it will develop one over time. But you can get them in slightly more unusual and eye-catching varieties. If you didn't want to go classic and wanted something a bit more visually appealing, then there is this stunning Dracaena Godseffiana, and this one, if you can see the leaves on the camera, looks like it's got lots of little stars on the leaves, bright gold, yellow spots across the glossy green leaves. So something like this, a great one for your desk and really visually appealing too. So following on nicely from the first one, we've got Sansevieria plants, another classic one, and these have actually been reclassified as Dracaenas themselves. These are perfect for going on your desk as they grow upright, so they don't take up much room even if you've got larger varieties. This is a Sansevieria fire. As you can see, it's got these wonderful dark rigid green leaves with this very, very bright yellow outline. This one is slightly more unusual and a bit more vibrant than the standard Laurenti, which is, I think, one of the most common ones that you can find in shops. And then if you wanted something a little bit more lush and subdued in colour, there's the Moonshine variety. As you can see there, a much lighter green with a silvery tone to the leaves. And if you were really worried about space, you can even get them in much smaller varieties, such as the Mikado Fernwood type varieties, which are spiky, or this, as you can see, this very small Harney variety. And these again come in different variegations with yellows and different colours on them as well. So you've got lots of different visual appeal. You don't have to go for the standard one that you can find in most shops, the Laurenti. You can shop around, find something that is the sort of colour, size and shape to fit your space. But all of them, I would say, are perfect for a workstation. This is not a Dracaena, although it could be mistaken for one, as it does have a similar look. This is a Cordyline fruticosa. There are many different varieties of this, although this, in my opinion, is incredibly underrated. They are stunning plants with amazing colours on them. If you can see on there, I don't know if you can see the bright pink on the leaves, if the camera can pick that up. And again on that side, if you can see that on the underside of the leaves, the variegation. This one is a little bit of a larger variety, so again, if you are struggling for space, then this might be not the right plant for you. But if you do have enough room, maybe on the corner of your desk or on the floor next to your desk, something like that, then these would be perfect to add a bit of greenery and a bit of colour. You can get these again in many different colour varieties. So that one was, I believe, a kiwi with very bright pink stripes around the outside. This one also has pink on it, but as you can see, this one has white to yellow stripes down the leaves as well as, so a nice brighter variety. You can also get these in a much darker purpley or red type colour too, so shop around. And these are incredibly affordable too, so if you wanted some of that bright pink variegation that you'd often pay a lot of money for with things like the Philodendron Pink Princess or Aglaonemas and things like that, then just buy one of these. I picked these up for £6 each from a local supermarket actually. So these are really affordable and really striking plants that can add a bit of colour to your desk. So going back to a classic type of plant, we'll talk about pothos plants, but there are a number of different plants within that common name variety that I've got to show you. So this is a Syndapsus, so we've got Syndapsus to start with. This is a Syndapsus pixis trebi with these wonderful green leaves with silvery detail on, and these come in a number of different varieties. So this is a Pictus trebi. You can get an Argyraeus which has smaller leaves. You can get some with extra silver detail on it as well as similar to this one. However, you can also get some more unusual varieties, and this is a trebi dark or dark form, and this has wonderful glossy dark green leaves, as you can see there in the camera shining in the light. A very lush and tropical feel with that one. You can also get them with lighter leaves. This one has a silvery type sheen to it as well, but in a different kind of pattern or detail on the leaves. This is the Moonlight or Trebi Moonlight, and it again has that wonderful silvery glossy sheen to the leaves that almost gives it a little bit of a mystical feel. And you can get so many different varieties of these, so you really can find one that suits your space in terms of colour and size of leaves and the aesthetic that you're going for. If you don't have room necessarily on your desk, these are also perfect for hanging up if you've got space above your desk or around your desk, or even letting it trail over the edge of the desk too. So another really popular type of pothos plant is the Peperomia variety of plants. This is a golden pothos or devil's ivy, very common type with the lovely light green leaves and white cream variegation on them. This one is perhaps the most popular variety, but again, as with the Syndapsus, you can get them in all different colours and types of variegation, even different leaf shapes and sizes. But you can get different varieties such as this Peperomia Global Green, which has very, very subtle variegation, almost like a green marbling of different shades of green on the leaves. And another one, just to show you the difference in leaf shape and colour. So this one's got much darker leaves and much longer leaves, thinner, longer leaves. This is the Peperomia dark blue form. If you can see that on the camera a little bit better. And again, these are perfect for around your desk, whether you put them on the desk and let them trail over, or hang them above and let them trail down to get those jungle vibes in your workspace. So this one is not for on your desk as it's rather large. This one could be hung above your desk, but this is more for illustrative purposes. So some types of Philodendron are also classed as pothos by their common name, so heartleaf pothos or heartleaf Philodendron, and this is a Philodendron lime with these wonderful lime green leaves, and as you can see it's a very large plant, so this one would have to be hung up. But you can also get this in very similar shaped leaves, some smaller, some larger, but different colours. So you can get the Philodendron scandens, which is a standard green leaf, Philodendron scandens Brazil, which is almost a mix of the green and this lovely lime green colour, and also Philodendron gold, which looks very, very similar to this. So I'm sure you recognise this one. This is the spider plant or Chlorophytum comosum, a very classic house plant. This, in keeping with the pothos, is a great one for hanging up above your desk if you can, or if you've got a shelf nearby. Also placing it towards the edge or the corner of a desk and letting these leaves just flow over the pot, especially when it starts to produce vines with its little offsets on. That would be perfect for them to flow over the edge. And this one, as you can see, is great for brightening up your space. If you do have incredibly limited space but you still want some sort of greenery, some sort of living plant on your desk, then Succulents or Echeveria are great plants to go for. They don't require a lot of attention at all, and they take up very little room and grow very slowly, but they can look really visually appealing, almost like flowers in the pots, depending on what variety you have. So this is an Echeveria Purple Ghost, I believe. You can get them in all different colours, whites, greens, purples, darker than this, lighter than this, different shapes as well, so you can pick something that's suitable for your setting or your aesthetic that you're going for. Possibly even if you had room for a few, you could mix and match and get a nice display going. And in keeping with the succulents, you can also get other varieties that look a little bit more unusual. So this is a burrow's tail. As you can see, it's got these sort of vines or trails of little chunky leaves. This one does actually grow quite fast in the right conditions, but these take up, again, really minimal room, and it'll be a long while until it grows large enough to overtake your space. So Succulents and Echeverias, Sempervivums, anything like that, perfect for smaller spaces. So if you are really struggling for space, then Peperomia plants could be a great option for you. These ones are in small pots, so of course are smaller plants. You can get these in larger sizes, so if you've got the room, then you can get the larger ones too, but these work just as well as smaller plants. So some look quite similar like these two, but others can look very different. There are literally hundreds of varieties of Peperomia and many different sort of shapes, sizes, colours that you can get depending on what you want for your space. So these two that I've got here, this is a Peperomia albo vittata. If I can bring it close to the camera, just so that you can see the leaves. It's got these lovely light green leaves with magenta textured lines across them. And this is the Caparata Rosso. So this has got really nice dark green leaves. Hopefully the camera picks that up. There we go. And on the underside of the leaves, it's got really bright red stems and bright red undersides of the leaves. So these are both great for adding colour to your space. So I'm sure you recognise this one. This is a really common houseplant. This is the peace lily or spathiphyllum. This is perfect if you like to have flowers in your home, as this produces wonderful white flowers, as you can see there if the camera picks that up, and it has these lovely glossy lush green leaves that even without the flowers, this plant adds real jungle appeal to any home. This is perfect, again, depending on your space. You can get, this one is maybe a medium size, but you can get these in much smaller varieties and even much larger varieties if you do have the room for it, with bigger leaves and bigger flowers. But something like this and the smaller varieties would be perfect for a workstation. So the next variety of plant is the ZZ plant, or Zamioculcas samifolia. So much easier to say ZZ plant. This is a smaller version or smaller variety of the plant. This is a ZZ zenzi. So this one has lovely dark glossy green leaves and a bit smaller than the standard variety and curved off the stem. So these look really stunning, quite a striking plant in terms of structure for any aesthetic around your desk. Whereas you can get, if you've got the room for it, the larger varieties or the standard variety with these lovely glossy green leaves, slightly larger, and these can grow quite tall and quite fast. On the upside they do grow upright, a bit like the Sansevieria, so you only really have to worry about vertical room, but they can spread out a little bit as they start to grow, so it really depends on the space that you've got. But these are perfect for on or around your desk too. So another reason why all of these plants are great for your desk or workstation are that they're incredibly easy to look after. So some of them will forgive you if you forget to water them, for example the succulents, and actually most of the others, so the pothos plants, don't actually like a lot of water, nor do the zizis. They are really hardy, so they can take a bit of neglect if you do, as I said, forget to water them, or if they don't get the sort of care and attention that they need. Many of them are okay in lower light settings depending on where your workstation is, particularly the pothos plants. However, the succulent plants do need a bit more light, same as some of the lighter leafier plants like these, the Cordylines. So do have a shop around if you're looking for plants for your desk or workstation. Check what your sort of light levels are in the room, how good you are at plant care, and then look through the list that I've gone through today and check them out online to see what they require and if you can meet those requirements and keep them thriving, and hopefully they will support you, as I said, with your creativity, productivity and feeling well while you're working. So if you are going to be shopping for plants, I'll share my previous video about how you can grow your indoor jungle for less at the end, so you can watch that next if you want to grow your houseplant collection without breaking the bank. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments below and we'll respond to everyone. If you've found this video useful, please consider hitting the subscribe button and we'll have new videos every week. As always, thank you for watching. Grow your well-being.